What's up, y'all? Y'all, thank you so much for clicking on this video. I definitely appreciate it. If you like what you see, please come back for more. Like this video, subscribe, and just come back for more content. So I decided to come on here and do another video. I've been kind of trying to figure out exactly what I want to do videos on, and I decided against doing natural hair videos. And then I was like, you know what? The reason I don't want to do the videos is because I'm not good at maintaining my hair. But then I thought about it. Well, I'm doing videos about other things that I'm not good at either, which is skincare and makeup. And I'm probably better at doing my hair than at any of those things, which is really bad when you think about it. But, I mean, why not? Why not? I did some videos, and if you, don't do it, but if you just type my name, Anjane Winstead, Anjanee, Winstead, Winstead, type that into YouTube. You'll see a very old channel of mine from like 6 years ago when I did the big chop. So they weren't good videos, but neither are these. So I have not made any progress over the years, except for my hair has gotten a little bit bigger since then. See, I keep looking back at the baby monitor there. I don't have a baby, I have a toddler, and she's like underneath her blanket in her bed with her tablet. I'm just trying to make sure she's not like suffocating herself. This video, as you can tell from the title, is about my hair, particularly my natural hair journey. So I grew up mainly in the 90s. In elementary, I was in the In the 90s, I was in elementary. And just like many other little black girls from the 90s, 80s, 70s, 60s, pretty much when relaxers, was popularized, I, like many others, would get my hair permed. And pause. Now I know that that term is meant for non-black people who put stuff in their hair to make their hair curly, and for black people it's called a relaxer because it makes our hair straight. Well, I use perm. I use them interchangeably. I use perm. Sometimes I use relaxers, but if I say perm, y'all know what I'm talking about. I mean, it's pretty common in the black community to say perm anyway. So, but if you're not black and you're watching this, I'm not talking about stuff to make your hair curly. I'm talking about a relaxer. I don't remember the first time I got a perm, but I do remember, and actually my kid took it out of here. There's a picture of myself, and it was pre-K school picture, and I could tell there that my hair was still natural. So I was 4 or 5 years old, and I had not had a perm yet. I would say that I probably got a perm around 5 or 6 years old, which is pretty typical, I guess, which is not a good thing in my opinion. I think that that's definitely too young to be putting all those chemicals in your hair. I have a younger sister, and of course she also got a relaxer. I don't remember anyone in any women in my family who were natural. Everyone seemed to have had a relaxer, but it was pretty typical. It was very popular in the 90s and even before then, but there was a box perm that I'm sure you all remember called Just For Me, and it was like the coolest thing ever. The advertising was great. They had these cool commercials with these pretty little black girls with the long straight hair, and they had a little theme song, Just For Me. I can't sing, but like that's kind of how the song went. And you would like buy the box perm, right, from the store, and it would come with a cassette tape. Okay, so I'm a millennial, and we grew up on cassette tapes. So if you're younger and you're watching this and you don't know what a cassette tape is, pause this video and go Google it and then come back. It will come with a cassette tape that had the little theme song or whatever, and it was so cool. Like, you know, they were, you know, you had like the Just For Me girls, and then you had like Crisscross and ABC. No, I'm kidding. But you know, it was the norm. At some point in elementary, one of my grandmothers took me and my sister to a beautician who I guess didn't know what she was doing, and kind of really messed up our hair. It's especially, you know, well, I guess it was both of us, and we lost a lot of our edges. So that's the unfortunate part, and you know, it did mess up a lot of our hair. If you know anything about relaxers, you know that it is a very strong chemical. I don't know the physics or the science behind it, but it is a very strong chemical. It has a very strong smell, and it burns like hell. And it's like, why would anyone put their children through that mess? So the thing is it's this white creamy stuff, right? They call it creamy crack, because you're addicted to it. You know, you have to go back every 6 to 8 weeks and get it reapplied and get them edges straight, and you know, so you have your hair straight again, right? So, you know, they get it and they part your hair and they put it on. You have like a whole bunch of white, and then like your ends are like they're not touched because your ends are not, like, I guess, affected. I don't know, whatever. I'm like trying to hide my mom pouch because it is in full force right now. Y'all like my shirt? I just bought it. It's like the longer you keep it on, the straighter your hair gets, right? So that's always kind of, you know, when we were kids, how they would explain it, you know, like, you know, you keep it in it a little longer, you know, that just means it's gonna get straighter. Like, they ask you if it's burning, and it's burning like God knows what, but you want to keep it on there longer. So you're sitting there in silence, suffering. So I'm like, no, it's not burning. But really, you've been scratching your head all week, you know, and all morning. And now it's like really, really burning, but you don't want to say anything. So you're just, you know, sitting there slowly being tortured. So, you know, they rinse it out and your hair is nice and silky or whatever. A lot of those, you know, box perms, you know, do it yourself at home or whatever, did mess up a lot of our hair. Even going to professional messed up our hair, because like I said, my grandmother took us to a professional back in the late 90s, and she messed our hair up. You know, our hair was really short and missing edges, and it was awful. And you know, to us being kids, and not just me and my sister, but like other little black girls, when our hair does that, it just makes it seem like we can't grow hair. Like, our hair is so different than other ethnicities that we can't, this is just how our hair is. You know, it's never gonna be, well, I don't know, my fiance just walked in here knowing I was filming, and I just lost my train of thought. What was I saying? We just looked at it as if, you know, our hair is just short and it just won't grow as long and as healthy and as thick as other ethnicities, which is not true, obviously. But when that's all you see, when that's all that you experience, that's just what you think. When I was in middle school, when we moved in with my other grandmother, she started taking us to her beautician, and she kind of got us back on track. We were still getting our hair relaxed. At no point in my youth did I ever think about becoming natural or not ever getting a relaxer again. I never thought about that. It wasn't until maybe I was in my late teens, like after high school, when I was like 19, I cut my hair, well, not me, but my beautician cut my hair really short. You know, like that look that's like how Halle Berry or Jada Pinkett Smith used to wear their hair, like, you know, like real short, kind of like shaved in the back a bit. And yeah, so I think I have one picture that if I can find that picture, I'll insert it here. But I probably won't be able to find that picture. So I cut it like that, and I wore it like that, just, you know, for, I don't know, 6 months or so before I started growing it back out. I was never really big on a weave. When I was younger, elementary, middle school, even like the first part of high school, every once in a while I get braids. I was kind of forced, which I think a lot of black girls are forced to get cornrows or get braids, especially during the summertime, because it's just easier to maintain. You can go swimming, you can do this, and you know, your parents don't have to deal with your hair, right? I had micro braids a couple of times. I can remember a few times having some tracks. I had it sewn in once. I've had it glued in once or twice, I don't know. But weave was never my thing. So in 2012, I decided to go natural. I didn't want to cut all my hair off, so I started to transition. And at that point, for like that 2012, I don't know if that was just a stressful year or what, but I had this in the middle of my head on top. It started to thin and it started to break, and it was becoming very noticeable. And I just remember it itching a lot, and I don't know exactly why. It's just like it came out of nowhere. And looking back on it, it could have been a gluten issue, which is going to be a separate video all on its own about gluten and my issues with that. But it could have been related to that, and it started breaking off. So it made my transitioning period, which I did for 6 months, it made that very, very difficult. And I wasn't doing any protective styles. And I was like, you know what? New year, new me, why not? So I did the big chop, and I cut all my hair off. My hair was probably like that long, and I did most of it, and then my brother, he did the back. And basically what I did is I just wet it, because at that point I had a bunch of new growth, and then I had my straight hair. So when you wet it, you know, your new growth, your natural hair tends to, you know, curl up or whatever, kink up or whatever. So you could tell the natural hair from the straight hair, and I just went in and just kind of like cut at that point. So it was pretty easy to, I was probably cutting for like the next week, cutting like little strands of straight hair. And so that was in 2013, I believe. So I went back to the beauty shop every once in a while for one thing or another. My beautician at the time, you know, was making, was like doing like little photo shoots for like a hair book or something. So I do think while I was natural, I did a couple of photo shoots with her. But other than that, I pretty much stopped going to the beauty shop and thought I could do it on my own. And for the most part, I've been doing it on my own. I really would prefer to get back in the beauty shop so it can look good. I went about, gosh, see, let's say, what did I say? That was 2013. It was 2013. So this is 2020, 19, 18. Y'all, 2018. 5 years. 5 years, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. That's 5 years. I don't do that. So 5 years. I went 5 years. Without getting my hair trimmed. Y'all, let me explain myself. All right? Let me explain. All right? So, here's the thing. I didn't realize I needed a trim. And I'm so serious. I didn't realize I needed a trim because when my hair was straight, I could tell when I had split ends, which I feel like I rarely have, but I can pull my hair and I can see the hair actually split. To me, you know, split ends equal a trim. If you didn't have split ends, you didn't need a trim. Well, I didn't realize that my hair was now a completely different texture, so it was gonna look different when it was time for a trim. And it got to a point where maybe like a couple of years in, maybe like 2 or 3 years in, I was like trying to comb through my hair after a wash, and I would just, the ends just would not untangle. They would just stay tangled, and I'd get these little balls on the end of my hair. And probably at about year 3, excuse me, around 3 or 4, after about a year of this mess, I realized, I was finally like, you know what, let me look this up. Let me see what the issue is, because I don't feel like my hair is supposed to be doing this. And then I realized that it's because I need a trim. So I didn't go get a trim until 2018. So in that time before 2018, between 2013 2018, I was doing my own hair. I was doing my own little twist outs. My twist outs never come out great. I'm not a product junkie. I don't buy a lot of different products and use it. My hair doesn't talk to me. It's very silent. I think it's mute. I don't know what my hair likes and what I don't know. I don't feel like I found the right product, but I haven't really been looking that hard. I kind of find things that I'm like, oh well, it's not killing my hair. My hair's still growing. It's still doing. It looks fine, I guess. It doesn't feel the best, but it's still on my head. So, you know, I was never really, you know, I wanted to grow my hair long, but it was never like the goal. Like I wasn't doing like lens checks or anything like that. I actually didn't even straighten my hair until 2018. That was the first time my hair had been straightened. So I used to blow it out sometimes and either wear it like in the afro, like right now it's blown out, or I would just do like a little twist out or something. And that's usually what I stuck with, and I would like put it back like this, or wear it, usually I would wear it in a mohawk, and I used to do that a lot. Wear it in a mohawk, throw like a little band over it or something, I don't know, just very simple, lazy kind of stuff, right? So 2018 came and I finally was like, let me get back to a professional. I need my hair trimmed. And it never really seemed like, when I would look at my hair at the time, I would be like, my hair is so short, like I feel like it's not growing. And I know when you need a trim, that's gonna prevent your hair from like really, you know, being healthy and growing like it's supposed to. So in the moment I could never see it, but when I would go back and look at a picture from 6 months prior, a year prior, 2 years prior, I would be like, oh, it is a big difference. So my hair was still growing just fine. Even without all the fancy stuff that everyone else is doing, without all this these magical growth things and all the oils and the hot oil treatments. I didn't do all of that. I did it every once in a while. I put a little oil in my hair sometimes. I probably should do it more, but my hair was still it was still healthy looking, aside from the fact that it needed the trim. And it was still growing. So I wasn't doing any protective styles at all. I had not done a protective style yet at all. So, you know, it's not, I don't think it's completely necessary to have to do all this stuff to your hair, because, you know, your hair should be fine, I guess. I don't know. Like, you can look at my hair right now and tell that I need some oil. It is a little dry. Like, I get it, but it's not like crazy unhealthy. I finally got over to a beautician, the beautician that I had for ever since I was in middle school, and this was 2 years ago. So she straightened my hair. She washed it, straightened it, everything. And when I walked in there with my hair, she was like, "Are you prepared to lose hair?" And I said, "Yes, I am prepared to lose inches," which is what happened. I lost inches. That's not half as much. So she went on ahead and cut a lot off. And she told me that she didn't cut all of it off because she wanted me to still have some hair. So she left a little bit, but she probably cut about like at least 4 or 5 inches off. And I wasn't sure how I was gonna like it, but afterwards, once it was straight and everything, I saw it and I was like, oh, I love this. It was, I have pictures, so I will insert those pictures. But it was a nice length and it was so cute, and I loved it. I did. But the first little mist outside, and it just started reverting back. And I think I probably had it like that for maybe a couple of weeks. I had it straight. So, and then I think I went and I got it straightened. Yes, that's what happened. I went and I got it straightened, right? And there's a train going by. Like it's like I live up north or something. Like I live in New York, and I don't. I'm in Texas. There's a train right outside the window. I went back because her daughter actually had just gotten her license and wanted to do some color for her book. So I was like, okay, go ahead, sure. Now I've never had my hair colored before. I've never put bleach in my hair. I've gotten like a couple of rinses before when I was younger, but that's about it. I've never put like actual permanent color in my hair. So she did that and it came out great. And they just like re-straightened my hair that time. So the color was great. I probably still have a little bit at the ends, maybe. But it was cool. So it reverted back again after, I don't know, a week or two. She told me to come back like every like 3 to 4 months or something like that to get it trimmed again. And I did not go back until like a year later. It was like a year and a month or 2 later. So I went back in like April or May of last year, 2019. And it was actually a really big difference. It was a lot of growth that I don't necessarily notice when my hair is in its natural state. It's not until it's straightened that I see the amount of growth. So it went from like here to like maybe like right past the shoulder, right below the shoulder or whatever. And I should have pictures of that as well. And I went in and she gave me a trim and straightened it. And then that's when I realized that my hair had been damaged. I had it straight for a week, then 2 weeks, then 3 weeks, and I was like, something's not right. My hair is not reverting back. So I was like, you know what? I think it was after 3 or 4 weeks I decided, so let me go ahead and just wash my hair. And let me wash it in, because it's time for a wash anyway, and let me see if it'll revert back. And so I washed it, and I saw it slowly start to revert back. And I was like, yay. I got out of the shower and I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, this didn't fully revert back. What the hell happened? So it turns out that my hair, there was some type of damage that took place. I don't know exactly what happened. I don't know if this heat protectant wasn't used, and like the straightening iron was too hot. I don't know. I mean, to me, it seems like it's obvious that it's heat damage. But yeah, so I was real salty after that for a long time, because I wanted my hair to be like natural, like just completely natural, like not damaged. You know, people thought that it still looked good because it fell differently. But to me, that's not how my natural hair is. My hair, you know, when I do a twist out or whatever, it doesn't fall, it stays up. In January of this year, I actually went to a different beautician, one that actually specialized in natural hair. And not that I have anything against my old beautician, but she doesn't specialize in natural hair. And I figured that, you know, that's probably going to be the best thing for me, is to get someone who that is what they do. So that is pretty much my hair journey in a nutshell. I went from being relaxed like many other black girls, and when I was in my early 20s, mid 20s, I don't know, I think it was my mid 20s, I did the chop, went natural, and then just kind of did my own thing. Just kind of did my own hair and tried to make it work, and I'm not that great at it. And after all these years, I'm still not good at doing my own hair because I don't put a lot of effort into it, unfortunately. But it's prospering, and it's still a journey. And I do want to, do better, learn more about my hair. So that is the next part of this journey, is trying to figure out what I'm doing. Like I said, thanks for watching. Please subscribe. I'm spitting everywhere. And look out for more videos on health and beauty and makeup and all that good stuff, and fitness. All the fun stuff. Thank you so much for watching.